Hey, today we're diving deep into one of the most powerful aspects of your life that's been quietly shaping your experiences, your thoughts. Close your eyes for a moment and think about this. Imagine if your mind was a movie, an entire cinematic universe made up of your thoughts. You are not just the audience watching. You are the director, the writer, and the lead actor. Now, think about this. Are you satisfied with the current plot of your life? Or is it time for a rewrite? You see, the most incredible part of this story is that you control the script. That's right. The thoughts you have every single day don't just happen by chance. They're not random occurrences bouncing around in your head, like unwanted intruders. Your thoughts are happening because of you, for you. You are the creator of your mental landscape, even if you've never consciously chosen to direct it. Now, here's the kicker. Most people are completely unaware of this power. They're living their lives on mental autopilot. Their thoughts, like untrained dogs, are running wild, destroying everything in their path: relationships, confidence, future opportunities. They may even feel as though they're the victims of their own minds, trapped by their mental habits and negative patterns. But here's where the shift begins. You don't have to be the victim. You can become the architect of your own reality, starting with your thoughts. Think about how powerful that is. What if every thought that enters your mind could be filtered, edited, and directed with intention? What if you could rewire your mind so that instead of feeling overwhelmed by negative thinking, you were able to rise above it, choosing the thoughts that fuel your goals, your success, your dreams? Imagine that level of control over your life. What could you accomplish? Here's a staggering truth. The average person thinks around 60,000 thoughts a day. That's a huge number, right? But here's something even more mind-blowing. Most of those thoughts are the same ones you had yesterday and the day before that. People get stuck in mental loops, cycles of thinking that have been running in the background of their minds for years, maybe even decades. These thoughts are like deeply ingrained habits, patterns formed by past experiences, societal conditioning, or messages from parents and teachers. But here's where you have the edge. You can break free from that cycle. You can choose to stop thinking the same old thoughts. You have the ability to choose a new direction for your mind. Every time you think a thought, it strengthens a neural pathway in your brain. And here's the golden nugget. You have the power to change those pathways. Your brain is not fixed. It's malleable. That's neuroplasticity at work. You can literally rewire your brain through conscious thinking. And with practice, you can build a new reality. So, what does this mean for you? It means that you are in the driver's seat. Your thoughts are not just some random backdrop to your life's events. They're the foundation upon which everything else is built. And this is where we start. Taking full responsibility for the thoughts you're thinking. It's time to stop letting your thoughts run you. You're going to take the reins, learn the tools, and start actively shaping the direction of your mental landscape. But here's the catch. Most people struggle with managing their thoughts. Why? Because they don't understand how thoughts work. They try to suppress negative thoughts, fight them, push them away. But what if I told you that fighting your thoughts only makes them stronger? Let's take a moment to break that down. You've probably heard someone say, "Don't think about a pink elephant." Now, what happens when you tell yourself not to think about a pink elephant? Bam! The first thing that pops into your mind is a pink elephant. It's the same with negative thoughts. The more you try not to think about them, the more power you give them. This is called the ironic process theory. The more you try to suppress something, the more it fights back. The secret to thought control is not about suppression. It's about awareness. It's about understanding that you are the observer of your thoughts, not the victim of them. The moment you step back and observe your thoughts with curiosity, you break the cycle. You give yourself the power to decide which thoughts you want to keep and which ones you want to let go of. You become the master of your mental landscape. Now, here's the exciting part. This isn't just some feel-good idea. It's backed by science. Your thoughts literally reshape your brain. Think of your brain as a garden. Every thought is like a seed. Some seeds are empowering, full of potential for growth and success. Others are weeds, negative, limiting thoughts that choke out your potential. The more you consciously choose empowering thoughts, the more you grow that garden of possibility in your mind. It's up to you which seeds you plant and which ones you uproot. The choice is always yours. And here's the real breakthrough. It's not about being perfect. It's not about eradicating every negative thought. It's about gaining awareness and control. It's about noticing when your thoughts are drifting into negativity, then choosing to steer them back towards something positive. It's about recognizing the power you hold over your mind and learning how to wield that power in a way that serves you. So, let's take a moment to reflect. How much of your day is dominated by automatic, unchosen thoughts? How often do you find yourself ruminating over worries, doubts, or past mistakes? And how often do those thoughts actually move you toward your goals? This isn't just a philosophical exercise, it's a critical question. If you're not in control of your thoughts, they're controlling you. But when you master your thoughts, you become the creator of your life story. You stop being a passive observer and become an active participant in your own transformation. In the coming sections, we'll dive deeper into how you can take control of your thoughts. We'll look at practical tools for shifting your mindset, reprogramming your mental habits, and cultivating the kind of thoughts that lead to the life you truly desire. But before we move on, remember this. Your thoughts are not happening to you. They are happening because of you. And that means you have the power to change them. You have the power to create the life you've always dreamed of, starting right now, with the very next thought you choose. Now that we've established just how powerful your thoughts are and how they shape your life, it's time to take a deeper dive into the concept of unconscious thinking. See, most people go through life as if they're on autopilot, letting their thoughts run on repeat, often without even realizing it. And when those thoughts are negative or self-sabotaging, they unknowingly continue to reinforce those patterns day in and day out. But here's the thing. The moment you bring awareness to your thoughts, everything begins to change. Picture this. Every day, you wake up, and the first thoughts that come to mind are probably about your day ahead. Maybe your work, your relationships, or your to-do list. Now, take a moment to check in with yourself. How often do you automatically go into that cycle of worry or stress before you even get out of bed? These unconscious thoughts aren't helping you achieve your dreams. They're holding you back. They are the mental loops that keep you stuck in old habits, unable to move forward. The trick is realizing that you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are simply patterns, and those patterns are not permanent. Let's pause for a second and reflect. Have you ever noticed that you tend to think the same things day after day? It's as if you're stuck in a loop, repeating the same patterns over and over. And if those patterns are negative, like "I'm not good enough" or "this will never work," then you're automatically limiting your own potential. But the first step in breaking free from this loop is recognizing that these thoughts are not facts. They are simply habits that have been formed over time. Here's where the power of awareness comes in. By becoming conscious of your thought patterns, you stop them from running the show. You become the observer of your thoughts instead of being a victim of them. And when you begin to observe, you'll notice something amazing. You have the power to change them. This doesn't happen overnight, but with time and practice, you can train your mind to notice when you're drifting into those old, unhelpful thought patterns. The key is awareness. So, how do you actually break free from these automatic thought patterns? How do you step out of the mental loops and start designing your own thinking? The answer lies in interrupting the pattern. When you catch yourself thinking those same old thoughts, whether it's about your self-worth, your abilities, or the future, you can choose to interrupt the cycle. One of the most powerful tools for this is something called the 5-second rule. The 5-second rule is simple. When you catch yourself in a negative thought, you've got 5 seconds to change the direction of that thought. You can replace it with a new, more empowering thought. Or you can simply take action right away to interrupt the pattern. This technique is a game changer because it puts you in control of your mind, even in those moments when you feel powerless. Instead of just letting your thoughts run wild, you consciously redirect them, taking the reins back into your hands. Now, let's talk about the ironic process theory, which is a psychological phenomenon that explains why we often struggle with thought suppression. This theory suggests that the more we try not to think about something, the more it comes to the forefront of our minds. For example, if I tell you, "Don't think about a red apple," what happens? You immediately start thinking about a red apple. This same process happens with negative thoughts. When you try to suppress them, you give them more power. They become more persistent, and the harder you try to stop them, the more they flood your mind. The solution isn't suppression, it's reframing. Reframing is the process of changing the way you think about something. Instead of trying to stop negative thoughts from coming up, you can shift your perspective on them. For example, if you have a thought like, "I'm not good enough to achieve my goals," instead of fighting it, you can reframe it as, "I am constantly learning and growing. Every setback is an opportunity for improvement." When you reframe negative thoughts in this way, you rob them of their power. You take control of how you perceive situations, making them work for you instead of against you. But here's the kicker. Reframing is a skill that takes practice. It's like training a muscle. The more you practice shifting your thoughts, the easier it becomes. It might not happen immediately, and there will be times when those negative thoughts creep back in. But each time you practice, you're strengthening your ability to choose your thoughts rather than letting them choose you. One of the key insights in this process is realizing that you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are simply one part of your experience, and you can choose which ones to hold on to and which ones to let go of. This is a game-changing shift in perspective. It's like being able to step outside of your mind and see your thoughts from a distance. You can observe them without getting caught up in them. And once you gain this perspective, you realize that you're in control of the mental movie you're living. Another powerful technique for breaking out of negative thought loops is thought labeling. This technique involves labeling your thoughts as they arise, without judgment. For example, if a thought like, "I'm not good enough," comes up, you simply label it as limiting thought or fear-based thought. By labeling the thought, you separate yourself from it. It's no longer a part of you. It's just a thought that can pass through your mind. This simple act of labeling allows you to take the emotional charge out of the thought, reducing its power over you. Once you begin to implement these tools, whether it's the 5-second rule, reframing, or thought labeling, you start to break free from the unconscious patterns that have been limiting you. You're no longer stuck in mental loops. You're actively choosing the thoughts that shape your reality. And when you start doing that, you realize just how much power you have over your own life. Now, let's take this a step further. The more you practice these techniques, the more you'll notice how your thoughts shape your emotions, which in turn shape your actions. Your thoughts are the spark that ignites your emotions. If you think negative thoughts, you'll feel negative emotions, and you'll act in ways that reinforce those emotions. But if you change your thoughts, you change your emotions, and that will naturally lead to different actions. This is the power of thought control in action. The key to breaking free from unconscious thinking is not just understanding the theory. It's about making it practical. It's about recognizing when you're stuck in those old patterns and knowing exactly what tools to use to break free. And trust me, the more you practice, the more automatic it becomes. You'll find yourself naturally thinking more positively, reframing situations on the fly, and creating new, empowering habits. By this point, you should be starting to feel a shift. You're beginning to realize that your thoughts aren't your enemy. They're just tools. And now, you have the power to use them to create the life you want. The next step is to go beyond just breaking free from negative thinking. It's time to master your mind, to consciously choose thoughts that align with your goals, values, and vision for the future. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into the science of neuroplasticity and how your brain literally rewires itself based on the thoughts you choose. Get ready to learn how you can use this knowledge to reprogram your mind and unlock your true potential. Now that you've started to break free from the unconscious thinking patterns that have been running your life, let's get into the real science behind all of this. I want to introduce you to a powerful concept called neuroplasticity. And trust me, this is where everything starts to get really exciting. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. Yes, that means your brain is not some fixed, rigid structure. It's dynamic, changing, and constantly reshaping itself based on the thoughts you think. That's right. Your thoughts have the power to physically change the structure of your brain. You're not stuck with the same old mental patterns. You can literally rewire your brain by choosing different thoughts. Let's break that down. When you think a thought, your brain forms a neural pathway. The more you think that thought, the stronger that pathway becomes. It's like walking down the same path in a forest, over and over again. The more you walk it, the clearer and easier that path becomes to follow. In the same way, your brain strengthens those neural pathways every time you think a thought. So, if you're constantly thinking negative thoughts, you're strengthening those negative pathways. But here's the catch. Just like you can strengthen old pathways, you can also weaken them. Let's say you've been thinking, "I'm not good enough," for years. Every time you think that thought, it strengthens that neural pathway. But now that you're aware of it, you can interrupt that pattern. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," you can consciously choose a new thought, like, "I am capable of learning and growing." With practice, this new thought will begin to form its own neural pathway. and over time, it will replace the old one. This is the foundation of neural rewiring. You're not trying to erase old patterns. You're replacing them with new, healthier ones. And the more you repeat the new, empowering thoughts, the stronger those pathways become. Eventually, those positive pathways will become the dominant ones in your brain, and your brain will start automatically thinking empowering thoughts instead of negative ones. But here's the fascinating part. Your brain doesn't differentiate between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. This means that you can mentally rehearse new behaviors or thoughts, and your brain will start to build the neural pathways as if you were actually performing them. This is why visualization is such a powerful tool. When you visualize yourself succeeding, overcoming challenges, or even just thinking more positively, your brain is strengthening the neural pathways necessary to make those behaviors a reality. Let's pause here for a moment. Imagine you're an athlete getting ready for a big competition. You might spend hours practicing the physical skills required for the event, but athletes also engage in mental rehearsal. They vividly imagine themselves performing at their best, overcoming obstacles, and achieving success. This practice not only boosts confidence, but it also strengthens the neural pathways needed for that performance. And it works. Research has shown that athletes who visualize their performance often perform just as well as those who practice physically. You don't need to be an athlete to use this. You can use visualization to rehearse any part of your life you want to improve. Want to speak more confidently in a meeting? Visualize yourself doing it successfully. Want to improve your relationship? Picture yourself communicating openly and with empathy. The more you visualize, the more your brain builds those neural pathways, and the more natural it will feel when it comes time to actually act. But there's another layer to neuroplasticity that you need to understand: emotional intensity. The more emotionally charged a thought or experience is, the more likely it is to stick. Think about this. When you experience a high emotion event, whether it's a victory, a failure, or even a stressful situation, your brain remembers it in vivid detail. It's as if your brain says, "This is important, so I need to remember it." Now, here's the key. You can use emotional intensity to your advantage. When you consciously choose a new, empowering thought or visualized outcome, try to infuse it with as much emotion as you can. If you can create strong feelings of pride, excitement, or joy around that new thought, your brain will solidify the new neural pathway even faster. It's like adding fuel to the fire of positive change. The more emotionally intense your new thought, the more quickly your brain will accept it as the new default. This process of rewiring isn't about doing it all at once. It's about gradual repetition. Just like it takes time to build muscle, it takes time to build new neural pathways. You might not see immediate results, but trust me, every time you repeat those new thoughts, you're making progress. Over time, those old limiting thoughts will start to lose their grip on you. And those new, empowering thoughts, they'll become your default way of thinking. Now, this is where it gets really exciting. As you continue to practice neuroplasticity, you'll notice that it's not just about changing your thoughts, it's about changing your life. Your thoughts affect your emotions, your actions, and ultimately, your results. So when you change the way you think, you change the way you feel, the way you act, and the results you get. Think about it this way. Your thoughts are like the software that runs your mental operating system. If you've been running outdated, faulty software, like beliefs that you're not good enough or that success is impossible. It's time for an upgrade. With neuroplasticity, you're upgrading your mental software to run on new, empowering beliefs. Beliefs that serve your highest potential, not your limitations. So, how do you get started? It all begins with awareness. Start noticing the thoughts that pop into your mind throughout the day. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, don't judge yourself, just notice it. Then, consciously choose to reframe the thought, replace it, or reimagine it in a more empowering way. Keep practicing this, and slowly, you'll notice your old patterns beginning to fade. Now, you might be wondering, how long does this take? The answer is, it depends. Some thought patterns can shift quickly, while others may take more time to change. But here's the important thing. Once you start, the process is inevitable. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself. And if you consciously direct that rewiring toward positive, empowering thoughts, the results are guaranteed. In the next section, we'll take all of this a step further and explore the techniques you can use to make these changes stick. We'll talk about actionable steps you can take right now to start reprogramming your mind and creating the life you truly desire. But for now, let this idea sink in. Your brain is always changing, and you have the power to guide that change in the direction of your dreams. Now that you're starting to grasp the incredible power of neuroplasticity and how your brain can literally rewire itself, it's time to dive into one of the most transformative shifts you can make: becoming the observer of your thoughts. This is a fundamental skill that unlocks your ability to control your mind rather than be controlled by it. Let's think about this for a moment. You wake up in the morning, and the first thing you do is check your phone. Instantly, your brain is flooded with information, news, social media, emails, everything. And as you scroll, what happens? Your mind starts reacting. You see a post that triggers you, or you read something that sparks anxiety. Now, your entire emotional state is hijacked by something external. You're no longer in control. You've become a passive participant in your own thoughts, reacting to whatever comes your way. But here's the power of observation. You can step back and observe your thoughts before you react to them. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Imagine your mind is like a movie theater, and you're sitting in the back row, watching the movie unfold on the screen. The movie is your thoughts, but you are not in the film. You are the one observing it, watching the characters, the plot twists, the drama, but you're not getting caught up in the story. This shift in perspective is a game changer. Instead of being swept away by whatever thought pops into your head, you can take a step back and ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is this thought helping me get closer to my goals or pulling me further away? Here's the truth. Most people never take this step back. They don't even realize they have the ability to choose how to respond to their thoughts. Instead, they get caught up in the drama, the fear, the worries, the doubts. And because they don't realize that they have the ability to change their mental script, they live their lives on autopilot, reacting to every thought and external event that comes their way. But once you realize you are the observer, you gain an incredible amount of freedom. Imagine if, every time you had a negative or disempowering thought, you could observe it without judgment, acknowledge it, and then decide whether to engage with it or let it go. This is what it means to step into the role of the observer. It's like becoming the director of your mental movie, making decisions about which scenes to keep and which ones to cut. And the great part is, the more you practice this, the easier it gets. At first, you may notice the negative thoughts only after they've already affected your emotions. You might feel anxiety or frustration before you even realize what triggered it. But with practice, you'll begin to catch these thoughts earlier in the process. And soon, you'll be able to step into the role of the observer the moment the thought arises. Let's talk about a specific technique to help you master this skill. Thought labeling. Thought labeling is exactly what it sounds like. When a thought arises, you simply label it. For example, if you have a thought like, "I'm not good enough," you label it as a limiting thought. If you feel frustrated about something, you label that as an emotion-based thought. The act of labeling creates space between you and the thought. It helps you realize that you are not your thoughts. You are simply the observer, and you can choose which thoughts to entertain. Think of it like this. Every time you label a thought, you're giving yourself permission to step outside of it. You're not getting caught in the drama or the emotional charge. Instead, you're taking a step back, observing, and making a conscious decision to either let it pass or replace it with a more empowering thought. Now, let's take this a step further with a powerful strategy: the pause and replace technique. The idea is simple. When you catch yourself in a negative thought loop, you hit pause, step back, and then replace that thought with something that serves you. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm always messing up," you pause, observe the thought, and then replace it with, "I'm constantly improving and learning from my experiences." At first, this may feel unnatural. You might think, "But this thought feels so true." But here's the secret. Just because a thought feels true doesn't mean it is. It's simply a habit. And just like any habit, it can be changed with conscious effort. The more you practice replacing negative thoughts with empowering ones, the more natural it becomes. Over time, your brain will start to default to the new, empowering thoughts, and those old negative ones will lose their power. Another tool you can use to strengthen your ability to observe your thoughts is meditation. Meditation trains you to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. It's like going to the gym for your mind. The more you practice meditation, the better you get at sitting back and observing the flow of your thoughts without getting emotionally attached to them. And this is the foundation of mental control. But meditation isn't just about sitting quietly for a few minutes every day. It's about developing the awareness that carries over into your everyday life. As you meditate, you train your mind to notice when you're getting caught up in a negative thought loop or an emotional reaction. And the more you practice, the more you can bring that awareness into your daily life. I want you to think of your mind as a garden. If you don't tend to it, it will become overrun with weeds, negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, and old patterns that don't serve you. But when you take the time to observe your thoughts, label them, and replace the ones that don't serve you, you start cultivating a garden of empowering thoughts. These thoughts become the foundation for a positive, fulfilling life. This process takes time, but remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the gardener, the creator of your mental landscape. And the more you practice observing and taking control of your thoughts, the more you'll see how your inner world starts to reflect the life you've always dreamed of. So, let's wrap this section up with a simple but powerful exercise. For the next week, try to practice observing your thoughts without judgment. Label them as they come up. Notice when negative, disempowering thoughts arise, and then practice replacing them with something positive. Keep track of your progress, and I promise you, by the end of the week, you'll notice a shift. Your thoughts will no longer control you. You'll be the one in control. In the next section, we'll take everything we've discussed and dive into the practical steps you can take to begin rewiring your brain for success. But for now, take a moment to appreciate how powerful you are. You are the architect of your thoughts, and you are taking the first steps to create the life you desire. Now that you've begun to observe and take control of your thoughts, let's dive into something truly powerful: rewiring your brain for success. It's one thing to understand that your thoughts create your reality, but it's another thing entirely to actively reprogram your mind to support the life you want to live. So, how do you start? How do you move from awareness to action? From being the observer to being the creator? The first thing to understand is that rewiring your brain requires consistent effort and practice. Think of it like building a new muscle. At first, it's tough. It requires concentration, focus, and discipline. But the more you work at it, the stronger that mental muscle becomes. Over time, it becomes second nature. Rewiring your brain is a process, but one that is absolutely worth the effort. Let's start with the concept of mental rehearsal. This is one of the most powerful tools in the process of rewiring your brain. Mental rehearsal is the act of vividly imagining yourself performing a task, achieving a goal, or embodying a new mindset. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one that's imagined. When you visualize yourself succeeding, your brain forms new neural pathways that support that success, just like it would if you were actually doing the thing. Take a moment and think about something you want to achieve. Maybe it's a big career goal, a personal aspiration, or even something as simple as approaching a difficult conversation with confidence. Whatever it is, imagine yourself doing it perfectly. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the emotions. The more vivid and emotional your visualization, the stronger the neural pathways become. For example, if you're preparing for a presentation, don't just imagine yourself standing up in front of the room. Visualize yourself speaking clearly, confidently, and engaging the audience. Feel the pride and the energy of delivering your message effectively. Your brain will start to build the neural circuits necessary to perform this way in real life. Over time, this visualization can make the real experience feel more natural and less intimidating. Now, here's something even more fascinating. Mental rehearsal doesn't just affect the way you think about the task at hand. It affects the way you feel about it. If you've ever heard of the placebo effect, then you already know that your beliefs and mindset have a profound impact on your physical reality. When you mentally rehearse success, your emotional state aligns with that success. This alignment can drastically reduce anxiety and boost your confidence, making it easier to take action when the time comes. But mental rehearsal isn't the only tool in your toolbox for rewiring your brain. Another key component is affirmations. Affirmations are powerful statements that reinforce the beliefs and habits you want to cultivate. These are positive, present tense statements that reflect the reality you want to create. They are the thoughts that will replace the old, limiting beliefs that have been running on autopilot. Here's the catch with affirmations. They only work if you feel them. Simply repeating, "I am successful," without any emotional attachment, will have little to no impact. But when you say, I am successful, and truly feel the sense of pride, accomplishment, and self-belief, your brain begins to wire that new belief into your neural pathways. Over time, this belief becomes stronger and more automatic. The key to making affirmations work is repetition. The more you repeat your affirmations with emotional intensity, the stronger the neural connections become. Just like practicing a new skill, the more you affirm these beliefs, the more they become ingrained in your mind. Eventually, they replace the old, limiting beliefs, and you start to operate from a place of confidence and possibility. So, here's an exercise for you. Take a piece of paper and write down 5 affirmations that reflect the life you want to create. For example, I am confident and capable. I am worthy of success. I handle challenges with grace and resilience. Or, I am in control of my thoughts and emotions. Write them in the present tense, as if they're already true. Then, take a few minutes every day to say these affirmations out loud. As you say them, really focus on feeling the emotions connected to them. Visualize yourself embodying these qualities. Do this consistently, and over time, you'll begin to notice shifts in your mindset and behavior. Next, let's talk about thought replacement. This is a technique you've likely already started using when you've been practicing thought labeling, or the pause and replace method. Thought replacement involves consciously identifying negative or unhelpful thoughts and replacing them with new, empowering ones. Think of it as trading in a faulty tool for one that actually works. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I can't do this," you replace it with, "I am more than capable of handling this challenge." If you think, "This is too difficult," you replace it with, "This is an opportunity for growth, and I am up for it." Over time, as you continue to replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you start to shift your mindset from one of scarcity and self-doubt to one of abundance and self-belief. The best part about thought replacement is that it can be done on the fly. The moment you catch yourself thinking something limiting, you have the ability to change it. This gives you the power to regain control of your mind in any situation. Whether it's during a stressful workday, a difficult conversation, or a moment of self-doubt, you can choose to replace those negative thoughts with ones that empower you. Now, one of the biggest challenges when rewiring your brain is patience. As with any habit, rewiring your brain takes time. You won't see instant results, and there will be days when it feels like your old thought patterns are winning. But here's where persistence comes in. Every time you catch yourself in a negative thought and choose to replace it with a positive one, you are rewiring your brain, even if you don't see the results immediately. Every small step counts. To make the process easier, create a consistent mental routine. This routine doesn't have to be long, but it should be intentional. Start your day with a few minutes of visualization. Say your affirmations and review your goals. Then, throughout the day, practice thought replacement whenever negative thoughts arise. Over time, you'll find that your new, empowering thoughts become the dominant ones. By consciously practicing these techniques, mental rehearsal, affirmations, and thought replacement, you are actively rewiring your brain for success. And remember, this is not a one-time effort. The more consistent you are, the more permanent the changes will be. Just like any muscle, the more you work it, the stronger it gets. In the next section, we'll take it even further and talk about mental habits, how you can automate success by turning these practices into second nature. But for now, take a moment to appreciate how far you've come. You've started reprogramming your brain, and you're on your way to mastering your mind and your life. Now that you've started to rewire your brain with powerful techniques like mental rehearsal, affirmations, and thought replacement, it's time to discuss something that can truly amplify your success: building empowering mental habits. The power of habits is often underestimated. We often think that significant change happens through big, dramatic actions. But the truth is, lasting transformation happens through small, consistent steps over time. Your habits are the building blocks of your success. And today we're going to explore how you can build mental habits that work for you, not against you. First, let's define what a mental habit is. Mental habits are automatic ways of thinking that shape how we respond to the world around us. Just like brushing your teeth or making your bed in the morning becomes automatic with enough repetition. The same is true for the thoughts and mental patterns you feed your mind. The more you repeat a certain thought or mindset, the more automatic it becomes. But here's the kicker: you can choose the mental habits you want to create. So, how do you start building these habits? The key is consistency. When you consciously choose a new mental habit, you must commit to it on a regular basis. For example, if you want to build a habit of positive thinking, you need to start replacing negative thoughts with positive ones consistently. It might feel forced at first, but with time and repetition, that new thought pattern becomes automatic. The more you practice it, the more natural it feels. The power of these small mental habits is that they compound over time, and before you know it, they become part of who you are. Let's say one of your goals is to start viewing challenges as opportunities for growth instead of obstacles. At first, it might be difficult to change your perspective. When faced with a challenge, you might automatically think, "This is too hard," or "I'm not capable of doing this." But by consistently replacing those thoughts with something more empowering, like, "This is an opportunity to grow," or "I am capable of overcoming this challenge," you begin to shift your mindset. The more you practice this habit, the more automatic it becomes. Eventually, when you face a challenge, your default thought will be, "What can I learn from this?" But it doesn't stop there. The goal is to create mental routines that naturally support your vision and goals. Mental routines are the daily practices that keep you on track and reinforce the mental habits you're trying to build. Just like you have physical routines, like getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth, or exercising, you need mental routines to set the tone for your day. These routines serve as a framework for your thoughts and emotions, ensuring that your mental habits are aligned with your highest goals. For instance, imagine starting each morning by mentally rehearsing your day and affirming your ability to handle anything that comes your way. You could visualize yourself succeeding in key moments, whether it's a work presentation, a meeting, or simply staying calm during a stressful situation. You could also affirm that you are in control of your thoughts and emotions, that you are resilient, and that you are capable of creating the life you want. This simple mental routine primes your mind for success, helping you start your day with focus and intention. Now, let's talk about a mental habit that can change the entire trajectory of your life: gratitude. Practicing gratitude might sound simple, but its impact on your mindset is profound. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong in your life to what's going right. It helps you shift from a scarcity mindset, where you feel like you don't have enough, to an abundance mindset, where you see all the blessings you already have. Here's how you can integrate gratitude into your daily mental routine. Take a few minutes every morning or evening to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big or small, anything from the fact that you have a roof over your head to the joy of a conversation with a loved one. When you practice gratitude regularly, you start to rewire your brain to notice the positive aspects of your life. Over time, you'll find that your focus shifts from problems and limitations to opportunities and blessings. This shift in perspective will not only enhance your emotional well-being, but also attract more positive experiences into your life. Building mental habits requires deliberate practice and patience. It's easy to fall into the trap of expecting immediate results. But true transformation takes time. One of the biggest obstacles people face when creating new habits is resistance. The internal resistance that arises when you step outside of your comfort zone. Your old thought patterns will fight to maintain their dominance. But here's the secret. The more resistance you feel, the more you know you're on the right track. It's your mind's way of trying to keep you safe and familiar with what's comfortable. But growth only happens outside of your comfort zone. To help overcome resistance, use the small wins principle. Start with small, manageable changes, instead of trying to overhaul your entire mental landscape in one go. Focus on one habit at a time. Maybe start with thought replacement, and once that feels natural, move on to mental rehearsal or gratitude. Each small step you take creates momentum, and before you know it, you'll have built a robust mental routine that automatically supports your goals. Another powerful tool for strengthening mental habits is accountability. This can come in many forms, whether it's a friend, a mentor, or simply tracking your progress. Having someone to check in with helps keep you committed, and it adds an element of external motivation to your practice. You don't have to do it alone. Surround yourself with like-minded people who are also committed to improving their lives. Share your goals with them and ask them to hold you accountable for sticking to your mental habits. When you have external support, it's easier to stay consistent and committed to the process. But ultimately, the most important factor in building mental habits is your belief in the process. You have to trust that these small, consistent actions will lead to big results. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful, and with the right mental habits, you can create the life you've always dreamed of. It won't happen overnight, but with patience, persistence, and practice, you'll start to see the shifts. The key is to keep going, even when it feels difficult. Remember, every time you choose a positive thought over a negative one, every time you replace an old limiting belief with a new, empowering one, you're building the life you desire, one thought at a time. In the next section, we'll explore how you can master your internal dialogue, the voice inside your head that either lifts you up or holds you back. But for now, take a moment to reflect on the power of your mental habits. You've already taken the first step by becoming aware of your thoughts. Now it's time to actively create the habits that will propel you toward the life you desire. Now that you've started building powerful mental habits, there's one more crucial piece of the puzzle: mastering your internal dialogue. If you've ever wondered why some people seem so unstoppable, it's because they've learned to control the voice inside their head, the one that either cheers them on or sabotages their success. Your internal dialogue is like a constant commentary running in the background of your mind. It narrates your every experience, judges your actions, and shapes the way you perceive the world around you, the way you talk to yourself, the things you believe about yourself, and the stories you tell yourself about your capabilities all come from this internal dialogue. The problem is, most people don't even realize how negative and limiting this inner voice can be. Here's the thing. Your internal dialogue is not fixed. It's a habit, just like any other mental habit. And just like any habit, it can be changed. You have the power to rewrite the script of your inner voice. But first, you need to become aware of what that inner voice is saying to you. Take a moment and listen closely. When something goes wrong, what's the first thing you say to yourself? Do you think things like, "I can't believe I messed that up. I'm so stupid," or "I'll never be good enough"? Or do you think, "It's okay. I made a mistake, and I'm going to learn from this," or "I'm still growing, and this is just part of the process"? The way you talk to yourself in these moments has a huge impact on your emotions, your confidence, and your ability to take action. The first step in mastering your internal dialogue is becoming aware of the words and phrases you use when you talk to yourself. You can start by paying attention to your self-talk in different situations. Are you more self-critical in certain areas of your life, like work or relationships? Are there certain triggers, like failure or criticism, that bring out negative self-talk? Simply noticing these patterns is the first step in transforming them. Once you become aware of your internal dialogue, the next step is challenging it. If your inner voice tells you that you're not good enough, ask yourself, is that really true? What evidence do I have that supports that thought? And what evidence contradicts it? Most of the time, you'll find that the negative things your inner voice tells you are just stories based on old beliefs, not objective facts. The key to changing your internal dialogue is replacing limiting thoughts with empowering ones. This is where your mental rehearsal and affirmation practices come into play. For example, if your internal dialogue says, "I'm always messing up," you can consciously replace that thought with, "I'm learning and growing every day." The more you practice this, the more natural the empowering dialogue will become. Over time, your internal voice will shift from one of self-criticism to one of self-support. But there's another powerful tool you can use to master your internal dialogue: reframing. Reframing is the process of changing the way you interpret a situation. For example, instead of thinking, "I failed that project. I'm a failure," reframe it to, "I didn't succeed this time, but I learned something valuable that will help me next time." Reframing allows you to take a negative experience and turn it into an opportunity for growth. It's a mental shift that helps you maintain a positive outlook, even when things don't go as planned. Let's dive deeper into some practical strategies for mastering your internal dialogue. 1. Speak to yourself like you would speak to a friend. Imagine you're consoling a close friend who is struggling. You wouldn't call them names or tell them they're a failure. You would encourage them, remind them of their strengths, and help them see the bigger picture. Start speaking to yourself the same way. Whenever you make a mistake or face a challenge, treat yourself with kindness and compassion. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes, and that mistakes are a natural part of growth. 2. Use positive self-talk as a tool for action. Sometimes, your internal dialogue can be the nudge you need to take action. If your inner voice says, "This is too hard, I can't do this," replace it with, "This is challenging, but I am capable of handling it." Positive self-talk doesn't just help you feel better. It can motivate you to take action and face challenges head-on. 3. practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a powerful way to detach from negative thoughts and quiet your internal dialogue. When you practice mindfulness, you create space between you and your thoughts. You learn to observe them without becoming attached to them. This can be incredibly helpful when you notice your internal voice becoming negative or self-critical. Mindfulness allows you to acknowledge the thought and then let it go, instead of reacting to it emotionally. 4. Create an affirmation playlist. One way to override negative self-talk is by consciously feeding your mind positive, empowering thoughts. Create a list of affirmations that resonate with you. Statements like, "I am worthy of success," "I am confident in my abilities," or "I choose to think positively." Whenever you notice negative self-talk creeping in, counteract it by repeating your affirmations. Over time, these positive thoughts will become the dominant narrative in your mind. 5. Visualize a positive internal dialogue. Just like you mentally rehearse success in your goals and actions, you can visualize yourself having positive self-talk. Imagine yourself in a situation where your internal dialogue would normally be negative. Instead of being harsh with yourself, picture yourself responding with compassion, encouragement, and empowerment. This mental rehearsal can help reprogram your internal dialogue for the future. Mastering your internal dialogue is one of the most important skills you can develop on your journey to mental mastery. Your internal voice shapes your beliefs, emotions, and actions. If you want to create a life of success, confidence, and fulfillment, it starts with changing the way you talk to yourself. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to replace negative thoughts with empowering ones. Eventually, your internal dialogue will support you, encourage you, and push you toward greatness. So, here's your next step. For the next week, pay close attention to your internal dialogue. Listen to what you're telling yourself. And when you catch a negative thought, challenge it. Replace it with something positive and empowering. And remember, change takes time. Be patient with yourself. This is a process. But every small step you take to improve your self-talk will bring you closer to mastering your mind and creating the life you desire. In the next section, we'll discuss how to build mental resilience, how to bounce back from setbacks, and maintain your emotional stability, no matter what life throws your way. For now, take a deep breath and acknowledge how far you've come. You're in control of your mind, and the shift in your internal dialogue is a massive step toward living your best life. In the previous sections, we explored the powerful techniques you can use to master your thoughts, control your internal dialogue, and rewire your brain for success. Now, it's time to dive into something that is absolutely essential to your mental transformation: building mental resilience. Life will inevitably throw challenges your way: difficulties at work, personal setbacks, unexpected failures. But it's how you respond to those challenges that determines your ability to grow and succeed. Mental resilience is the key to bouncing back stronger, no matter what life throws at you. But before we go any further, let's clarify what mental resilience actually is. Mental resilience is the ability to adapt to adversity, recover from setbacks, and maintain your emotional stability in difficult times. It's about cultivating the mental strength to not only survive life's challenges, but to thrive in spite of them. You can think of it like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. The truth is, everyone faces adversity at some point. The question isn't whether you'll encounter setbacks, but how you'll handle them when they come. Will you crumble under pressure, or will you rise to the occasion and keep moving forward? The most successful and fulfilled people in the world aren't those who avoid hardship, but those who have learned how to navigate it with grace and determination. So, how do you build mental resilience? Let's break it down into actionable steps. One of the most powerful shifts you can make in building resilience is to reframe adversity as an opportunity for growth. This may sound counterintuitive, but when you change your perspective on challenges, they no longer feel like insurmountable obstacles. Instead, they become stepping stones to greater personal development. Take a moment and think about a challenging situation you faced. Maybe it was a setback in your career, a personal failure, or a difficult time in a relationship. When you look back on that experience, can you find any lessons or wisdom that came from it? Did you learn something new about yourself? Did you develop new skills or a deeper sense of empathy? Every challenge you face carries the potential for growth, and reframing it as an opportunity allows you to approach it with a mindset of curiosity instead of fear. The next time you encounter a challenge, remind yourself, this is not a setback. This is an opportunity to grow, learn, and become stronger. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from setbacks. It's also about maintaining your emotional stability in the midst of difficulty. One of the key components of resilience is emotional regulation, the ability to manage your emotions in a way that doesn't overwhelm you or cloud your judgment. When you face adversity, it's natural to feel anger, frustration, sadness, or anxiety. These emotions are part of the human experience, but they don't have to control you. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for emotional regulation. By practicing mindfulness, you can learn to observe your emotions without reacting to them immediately. Instead of getting caught up in a rush of negative emotions, you can step back, acknowledge the feeling, and choose how to respond to it. Let's say you're facing a stressful situation, like a tight deadline at work or a conflict in a relationship. Instead of immediately reacting with frustration or anxiety, practice taking a deep breath. Step back for a moment. Observe how you feel without judgment. Recognize that these emotions are temporary and that you have the power to control your response. By practicing this awareness, you gain the ability to choose how you want to show up in any given situation. A growth mindset is the belief that you can always learn, improve, and evolve. People with a growth mindset don't see failure as a reflection of their abilities. They see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. They understand that failure is not the end. It's simply part of the journey. If you want to build mental resilience, you must embrace the growth mindset. When you encounter failure or setbacks, instead of getting discouraged, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve moving forward? This mindset shift empowers you to view challenges as a natural part of the learning process. You'll stop fearing failure and start embracing it as a stepping stone toward success. When you face challenges, it's easy to become your own harshest critic. You may think, I should have done better. I'm not good enough, or I'll never succeed. But beating yourself up in the face of adversity only undermines your resilience. Instead, practice self-compassion. Self-compassion means treating yourself with kindness and understanding when things go wrong, rather than judging yourself harshly. It's about recognizing that you are human and that it's okay to make mistakes. Instead of saying, I failed, say, I'm learning. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, say, I am doing my best, and I will continue to grow. A key component of self-compassion is forgiveness. Forgive yourself for past mistakes, for times when you didn't do your best, and for moments when you let fear or doubt take control. Holding on to past mistakes only weighs you down and keeps you stuck. Letting go of self-blame frees you to move forward with a lighter heart and a stronger sense of self. Resilience doesn't mean doing everything alone. In fact, one of the most important aspects of building resilience is having a strong support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, encourage you, and challenge you to become the best version of yourself. When you're going through a tough time, it's essential to have people you can turn to for emotional support, guidance, and perspective. Whether it's a close friend, a mentor, or a family member, these people can help you navigate difficult situations and remind you that you're not alone. Being part of a supportive community also helps you stay motivated and focused on your goals. They can offer practical advice, emotional reassurance, and sometimes a simple listening ear. Having these people in your corner can help you stay grounded and resilient, no matter what challenges come your way. A common pitfall when facing adversity is the tendency to get overwhelmed by things that are out of your control. When this happens, it's easy to feel helpless and stuck. But mental resilience comes from focusing on what you can control, not what you can't. There will always be circumstances that are beyond your control, other people's actions, external events, or unforeseen situations. But you always have control over how you respond to those circumstances. You can control your attitude, your effort, and the actions you take moving forward. Focusing on these things, instead of stressing about things beyond your control, allows you to regain your power and stay resilient in the face of adversity. Lastly, building resilience requires you to take care of your physical and mental well-being. Resilience doesn't just happen in your mind. It's also about taking care of your body. Regular exercise, a healthy diet, sufficient sleep, and stress management techniques like meditation or yoga all play a vital role in strengthening your resilience. Taking care of yourself ensures that you have the energy, focus, and emotional stability to handle whatever comes your way. It's about maintaining balance. So, when the inevitable challenges arise, you have the mental and physical resources to face them head-on. Building mental resilience is not about avoiding difficulties. It's about developing the strength to face them, learn from them, and grow stronger because of them. It's about understanding that setbacks don't define you. How you respond to them does. The more you practice resilience, the stronger it becomes. It's like a muscle that gets stronger with each challenge you face. And the more resilient you become, the more equipped you'll be to handle the ups and downs of life. In the next section, we'll explore how to create your ideal mental environment, the mindset and surroundings that will support your success and happiness. But for now, remember that resilience is something you can cultivate every day. Start small, stay committed, and trust that each challenge you overcome makes you stronger and more resilient than ever before. Now that you've cultivated resilience, the next step in your journey is to create your ideal mental environment. The environment you spend time in, both physically and mentally, has a profound impact on your mindset, your energy, and your overall success. In fact, one of the most powerful tools for mental transformation is curating the environment that supports the life you want to create. Think about it. Your environment is not just the physical space around you. It includes the people you interact with, the media you consume, the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind, and even the conversations you engage in. If you want to become more resilient, confident, and focused, you need to create an environment that nurtures and amplifies these qualities. Let's start with your physical environment. It's easy to overlook the impact your physical surroundings have on your mental state, but research shows that cluttered, chaotic spaces can negatively affect your ability to focus, think clearly, and stay productive. On the other hand, clean, organized, and inspiring spaces can help you feel calm, clear-headed, and energized. Start by evaluating your workspace or living space. Is it cluttered and disorganized? Does it inspire you, or does it drain your energy? The goal is to create a space that promotes focus, clarity, and peace. Here are a few simple steps to design an environment that supports your mental and emotional well-being. Declutter. Remove anything from your space that doesn't serve a positive purpose. This could mean cleaning up piles of papers, getting rid of old, unnecessary items, or reorganizing your workspace. A clutter-free environment promotes a calm and clear mind. Add inspiration. Surround yourself with items that inspire and motivate you. This could include quotes that resonate with your values, pictures of your goals, or meaningful objects that bring you joy. Your physical environment should be a reflection of who you are and who you want to become. Comfort and functionality. Your space should be comfortable and functional. Make sure your workspace is organized in a way that supports your productivity, and that your living space feels like a retreat where you can relax and recharge. A well-designed physical environment isn't just about aesthetics. It's about creating a space that supports the mindset you want to cultivate. Beyond the physical space, your mental environment is equally important. The thoughts you feed your mind, the conversations you engage in, and the information you consume all shape your mental landscape. If you want to master your thoughts and create a life of success and fulfillment, you must curate a mental environment that nourishes your mind and aligns with your goals. Start by examining the content you're consuming. What kind of media are you consuming daily? Is it positive, inspiring, and empowering? Or is it filled with negativity and fear? Social media, news outlets, and entertainment choices all play a significant role in shaping your mental environment. If you're constantly consuming media that focuses on the negative, you're more likely to adopt a negative mindset. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with positive, uplifting content, you're more likely to feel motivated, inspired, and empowered. To curate your mental environment, limit exposure to negativity. Avoid toxic news, gossip, or conversations that bring you down. You can't control what the world throws at you, but you can control how much of it you allow into your mind. Set boundaries around the type of media you consume, and choose content that aligns with your values and goals. Engage in growth-oriented content. Instead of spending hours scrolling through social media or watching negative news, make a habit of reading books, listening to podcasts, or watching videos that expand your knowledge, encourage personal growth, or provide inspiration. Surround yourself with content that challenges you to think bigger, achieve more, and live a fulfilling life. Build a positive social circle. The people you interact with have a significant impact on your mindset. Surround yourself with individuals who uplift and support you, who challenge you to grow, and who inspire you to be your best self. Let go of toxic relationships that drain your energy and focus on nurturing relationships with people who share your values and goals. The mental environment you create for yourself is a powerful force that shapes your actions, behaviors, and outcomes. By consciously curating what you allow into your mind, you are setting yourself up for success. Another powerful tool for creating a positive mental environment is affirmations and visualization. Both of these practices allow you to intentionally program your mind to align with your goals and vision for the future. These tools are essential in cultivating a mental environment that supports the person you want to become. Affirmations. As we discussed earlier, affirmations are positive statements that reinforce the beliefs you want to adopt. By regularly repeating affirmations, you program your subconscious mind to believe that these statements are true. For example, if you want to cultivate confidence, you could affirm, "I am confident and capable of handling any challenge." If you want to attract success, you could say, "I am worthy of success, and I am taking the necessary actions to achieve it." The more you repeat these affirmations, the more your mind will start to believe them and align with them. Visualization. Visualization is another powerful way to create a mental environment that aligns with your goals. By vividly imagining yourself achieving your goals, you send strong signals to your subconscious mind that this is your reality. Whether it's visualizing success in your career, envisioning yourself handling a difficult situation with grace, or seeing yourself living the life you've always dreamed of, visualization programs your mind for success. It primes you to act in ways that bring your vision to life. Visualization and affirmations are tools that help create a strong, positive mental environment by reprogramming your subconscious mind. The more you engage in these practices, the more your reality will shift to align with your desires. Lastly, creating an ideal mental environment involves protecting your energy. Your energy is one of your most valuable assets, and it's crucial that you guard it against negativity and anything that drains you. This means setting clear boundaries, managing your time wisely, and making self-care a priority. Set boundaries. Don't be afraid to say no to people or activities that drain your energy. Protect your mental space by avoiding situations that cause unnecessary stress or negativity. This can include avoiding toxic conversations, distancing yourself from people who drain your energy, or simply learning to say no to commitments that don't align with your goals. Practice self-care. Taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being is essential for protecting your energy. Make time for activities that replenish you, whether it's exercise, meditation, time in nature, or simply taking a break. When you prioritize self-care, you ensure that you have the energy and mental clarity to stay focused on your goals and respond to challenges with resilience. Surround yourself with positivity. Finally, make sure that the people and situations you surround yourself with are uplifting and empowering. When you protect your energy, you maintain the mental clarity and focus you need to create the life you want. Now, let's take it a step further. Align your physical, mental, and social environment with your goals. If you want to become the person who achieves greatness, your environment must reflect that. This means surrounding yourself with people, spaces, and activities that support your aspirations. For instance, if your goal is to become more productive, your workspace should be organized, free of distractions, and conducive to focus. If your goal is to improve your health, your environment should be filled with healthy food choices, exercise equipment, and activities that promote wellness. Aligning your environment with your goals ensures that you're consistently supported in your journey toward success. Your environment is a reflection of your internal state. By curating a physical and mental space that aligns with your values, goals, and vision, you are consciously creating an environment that supports your success. This is not a passive process. It requires intentionality and effort. But when you take control of your environment, you set yourself up for continuous growth and achievement. In the next section, we'll explore mental hygiene, how to keep your mind clear, fresh, and free from negative or limiting thoughts. But for now, take a moment to assess your environment, both physical and mental, and begin making intentional changes that will support the life you're building. By now, you've learned how to take control of your thoughts, build empowering mental habits, and create an environment that supports your growth. But there's one more critical aspect of mental mastery that ties everything together: mental hygiene. Just as you take care of your physical hygiene by brushing your teeth and washing your body, it's equally important to take care of your mental hygiene. This is the practice of cleaning up your mental space, clearing out negativity, and maintaining a healthy, positive mindset. Your mind is constantly bombarded with information, thoughts, and emotions, much of which can be overwhelming or toxic. If you don't make the effort to regularly cleanse and protect your mental space, it's easy for clutter and negativity to build up, much like physical clutter in a room. Mental hygiene isn't just about removing the bad. It's also about replenishing your mind with positivity, focus, and clarity. The first step in maintaining mental hygiene is to practice daily mental cleansing. This involves setting aside time each day to clear your mind of any stress, negative thoughts, or clutter that may have accumulated throughout the day. Just as you take a shower to remove dirt and grime from your body, mental cleansing helps you remove mental dirt and refresh your mind. One effective way to practice mental cleansing is through meditation. Meditation is a powerful tool that allows you to observe your thoughts without getting attached to them. By taking just 10-15 minutes each day to sit in silence, focus on your breath, and let go of any mental chatter, you create space for clarity and peace. Regular meditation helps you become more aware of your thoughts and gives you the mental clarity to let go of anything that no longer serves you. If meditation feels too challenging or time-consuming, start with mindful breathing. Simply take a few deep breaths, focusing on the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. With each breath, imagine clearing away any negative thoughts or stress, replacing them with a sense of calm and tranquility. Over time, this practice will help you develop the ability to manage stress and negative thoughts more effectively. Another way to cleanse your mind is through journaling. Take a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This process can help you clear out any mental clutter and gain clarity about what's going on in your mind. Writing helps you process emotions, release pent-up stress, and gain insights into your thought patterns. By regularly journaling, you create a habit of self-reflection that allows you to keep your mental space clear and focused. One of the most important aspects of mental hygiene is reframing negative thoughts. As we discussed earlier, your internal dialogue has a massive impact on your mindset. But negative thoughts are inevitable. They're a natural part of being human. The key is not to eliminate all negative thoughts, but to reframe them so they no longer control your emotions or actions. When a negative thought arises, Instead of accepting it as fact, challenge it. Ask yourself questions like, is this thought true? What evidence do I have that supports or contradicts this thought? How can I view this situation differently? By practicing this kind of mental awareness, you create the space to reframe the negative thought into something more empowering. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough to achieve this goal, reframe it to, I am capable of learning and growing, and I'm taking steps to reach my goal every day. This reframing process allows you to view challenges as opportunities for growth instead of roadblocks to success. It's also important to remember that thoughts are not facts. Just because a thought pops into your head doesn't mean it's true or that you have to act on it. By distancing yourself from your thoughts and observing them without judgment, you begin to realize that you have the power to choose which thoughts to engage with and which ones to let go. In addition to clearing out negative thoughts, mental hygiene also involves detoxing from negative media and external influences. We live in a world where we are constantly bombarded with information, much of it negative or fear-based. Social media, news outlets, and even casual conversations can all contribute to a mental environment that is filled with stress, anxiety, and negativity. To maintain good mental hygiene, it's crucial to curate the information you expose yourself to. Limit your consumption of negative news or media that perpetuates fear, anxiety, or negativity. Instead, choose sources that inspire, educate, and uplift you. Follow social media accounts that align with your values and goals, and make sure the content you consume serves your personal growth rather than contributing to mental clutter. If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed or drained by certain people or situations, don't hesitate to set boundaries. This could mean limiting your time with negative individuals, avoiding toxic environments, or stepping back from conversations that drain your energy. Protect your mental space by surrounding yourself with positivity and removing influences that disrupt your peace of mind. To keep your mental environment clean, it's essential to actively engage in positive, thought-boosting activities. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect, but it's about intentionally engaging in activities that recharge your mental energy and keep you in a positive, productive mindset. One way to boost your mental energy is through physical exercise. Physical activity not only improves your health, but also releases endorphins, the feel-good hormones that enhance your mood and reduce stress. Whether it's a walk in nature, a quick workout, or yoga, moving your body helps clear your mind and boost your mental clarity. Another great way to cleanse and boost your mind is through creative expression. Engaging in activities like painting, writing, dancing, or even gardening can help you express your emotions and channel your energy into something positive. Creativity is a natural mental detox. It helps you break free from mental clutter and fosters a sense of accomplishment and joy. Additionally, engaging in gratitude practices is a powerful way to keep your mental space clean. Taking time each day to reflect on the things you're grateful for shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. By practicing gratitude regularly, you train your mind to notice the positive aspects of your life and build a sense of contentment and joy. Finally, part of maintaining mental hygiene is regularly reviewing and reflecting on your thoughts. Just as you keep your physical environment tidy by cleaning regularly, you should also check in with your mental state. This can be done through daily reflection, journaling, or simply taking a few minutes each day to sit with your thoughts and assess how you're feeling. Ask yourself, what thoughts have been occupying my mind? Are they helping me move toward my goals? Or are they holding me back? Are there any negative thought patterns I need to address? By regularly reflecting on your thoughts, you stay aware of your mental state and can make adjustments before negative patterns take root. Mental hygiene is an ongoing process. It's about consistently cleansing your mind, reframing negative thoughts, protecting yourself from external negativity, and filling your mental space with positivity and growth. By practicing mental hygiene, you maintain clarity, focus, and emotional well-being, ensuring that your mind remains a powerful ally in your journey toward success. Now that you have the tools to maintain your mental hygiene, you're ready to take control of your thoughts and emotions with even more confidence. In the next section, we'll dive into the power of mental focus and how to sharpen your concentration to achieve your goals faster. But for now, take a moment to reflect on the importance of mental hygiene. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Take care of it, and it will take care of you. Now that you've learned the vital practices of mental hygiene, we're going to shift gears and explore one of the most powerful skills you can cultivate: mental focus. In a world full of distractions, mastering your ability to focus is one of the most important tools for achieving your goals and transforming your life. Focus is like a laser beam. It allows you to direct your mental energy toward what truly matters and block out everything else. It's easy to get pulled in 1,000 directions by notifications, emails, and the constant pressure to multitask. But when you learn how to harness the power of deep, concentrated focus, you'll find yourself accomplishing more in less time, feeling more confident in your actions, and seeing tangible progress toward your goals. So, let's talk about how to sharpen your mental focus so that you can stay on track, avoid distractions, and accomplish everything you set out to do. The first step in mastering focus is to eliminate distractions. In our modern world, distractions are everywhere, from social media to work emails to conversations happening around you. But in order to achieve deep focus, you need to create an environment that is free from external distractions. Start by identifying what distracts you the most. Do you find yourself constantly checking your phone? Do you get distracted by background noise or people walking by? Once you've identified your primary distractions, take steps to eliminate or minimize them. Here are a few practical ways to reduce distractions and create an environment conducive to focus. Put your phone on airplane mode or silence notifications when you need to concentrate. This way, you won't be tempted to check your messages every time your phone buzzes. Create a dedicated workspace free from distractions. If you're working from home or studying, set up a space that's designed specifically for focus. Make sure it's organized, comfortable, and free of things that could pull your attention away. Use noise-canceling headphones or play instrumental music if noise is a major distraction. Some people find that listening to calming music or nature sounds helps them concentrate better. By intentionally eliminating distractions, you set yourself up for success. When your environment is clean and free of interruptions, it becomes much easier to focus deeply on the task at hand. The next step in developing mental focus is to practice single tasking. Multitasking may seem like an efficient way to get more done, but in reality, it's a productivity killer. Research shows that when we multitask, our brains constantly switch between tasks, which actually decreases efficiency and increases errors. Instead of juggling multiple tasks, commit to focusing on one task at a time. When you dedicate your attention fully to one thing, your mind can work more efficiently, and you'll complete the task faster and with higher quality. Here are a few strategies to help you single task effectively. Time block your tasks. Set aside specific blocks of time to focus on one task. For example, you might work on a project for 45 minutes, then take a 15-minute break. This structure helps you focus fully during each time block and gives your brain time to recharge between sessions. Use the Pomodoro technique. This technique involves working for 25 minutes, followed by a 5-minute break. After completing 4 Pomodoro sessions, take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. This technique helps improve focus by creating intervals of concentrated work and rest. Be intentional with your time. Before starting a task, ask yourself, what is the most important thing I can do right now? Choose your task based on priority and focus all of your energy on completing it to the best of your ability. By focusing on one task at a time, you'll improve the quality of your work and build momentum as you achieve your goals step by step. Just like any skill, mental focus needs to be trained. If you find it hard to concentrate for long periods, don't worry. It's a skill that you can develop over time. The key is to practice regularly and gradually extend your attention span. Start with small increments of focused time and slowly increase the duration as your attention span improves. If you can only focus for 10 minutes at a time right now, start with 10-minute sessions and gradually build up to 30 or 60 minutes. Here are a few techniques to train and expand your attention span. Focus on your breath. One simple way to practice focus is through deep breathing exercises. Spend a few minutes focusing on your breath, noticing the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. When your mind starts to wander, gently bring your focus back to your breath. This practice helps train your brain to stay focused on the present moment. Use mindfulness techniques. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and engaged in the task at hand. Whenever you feel your mind drifting, gently bring your focus back to what you're doing. Mindfulness helps you maintain concentration and increases your ability to stay in the zone for longer periods. Start with short bursts of focus. Begin by setting aside short periods of time, 5 to 10 minutes, where you focus intensely on a single task. Gradually extend this time as you build your mental stamina. Over time, your ability to focus for longer periods will improve. Training your attention span is a gradual process, so be patient with yourself. As you continue to practice, you'll notice that you're able to maintain focus for longer periods, and your productivity will increase. One powerful technique to enhance your focus is visualization. Visualization involves mentally rehearsing your goals and imagining yourself completing tasks with laser-like focus. When you visualize yourself staying focused and productive, you're training your mind to act accordingly in real life. Take a moment to close your eyes and imagine yourself working on a task with full concentration. Picture yourself blocking out distractions, staying engaged with your work, and achieving success. The more vividly you imagine yourself focusing, the more likely it is that you'll achieve that level of focus in reality. Visualization not only helps you sharpen your focus, but also boosts your confidence. When you see yourself succeeding mentally before you even start the task, you set yourself up for success in the real world. One of the most important aspects of focus is learning how to stay in the present moment. Our minds often wander to the past or future, but true focus can only occur when we fully immerse ourselves in what we're doing right now. To bring your attention back to the present moment, Try using grounding techniques. Focus on the physical sensations around you. Feel the chair beneath you. Notice the temperature in the room, or pay attention to the sounds around you. These sensory cues help bring your mind back to the task at hand. Whenever you feel your mind drifting, gently refocus on the present moment. The more you practice staying in the now, the stronger your mental focus will become. Maintaining focus isn't just about pushing yourself to work harder. It's also about giving your brain the rest it needs. Mental fatigue can quickly undermine your focus and productivity, so it's important to take regular breaks and recharge your mental energy. Here's how to ensure you're recharging effectively. Take regular breaks. Work in short bursts of intense focus, followed by breaks to rest your mind. The Pomodoro technique mentioned earlier is a great way to manage this balance. Sleep well. Sleep is one of the most important factors in maintaining mental clarity and focus. Prioritize getting enough rest each night to allow your brain to recharge and refresh. Exercise regularly. Physical activity boosts blood flow to the brain, which helps improve focus and mental clarity. Make time for exercise to keep your mind sharp and energized. By taking care of your body and giving your mind the rest it needs, you'll ensure that your focus remains sharp and sustained over the long term. The power of mental focus is something you can develop and strengthen over time. With practice, you'll find that you can direct your mental energy with greater precision, block out distractions, and accomplish your goals with speed and efficiency. In the next section, we'll explore the importance of visualization and mental rehearsal in achieving your goals. But for now, take a moment to reflect on the steps you can take today to improve your focus. Start small, be consistent, and watch your productivity and your results skyrocket. At this point in your journey, you've already learned how to gain control over your thoughts. Create an environment that supports your mental growth and sharpen your focus to accomplish your goals. Now, let's dive into another powerful tool that will accelerate your transformation: visualization and mental rehearsal. Visualization is one of the most potent techniques in mental mastery. It allows you to mentally rehearse and program your brain for success. Athletes, entrepreneurs, and high performers have been using this technique for decades to manifest their goals and stay ahead in their fields. By vividly imagining success, they create mental blueprints that lead to real-world results. The good news: you can do the same. Visualization doesn't just help you imagine a future outcome. It helps you live that outcome in your mind before you even experience it in real life. And when you mentally rehearse a goal, your brain starts to think it's already happened, increasing your chances of success. It's like a practice run for your mind that primes your brain for action. Visualization is more than just imagining a goal. It's about creating a mental movie where you see, feel, and experience every aspect of the goal you're striving for. The more sensory detail you add to the visualization, the more powerful the impact on your brain. It's not just about seeing yourself achieving a goal. It's about feeling the emotions of that success, whether it's the excitement of completing a project, the pride of landing a new job, or the relief of overcoming a challenge. The more vividly you can recreate those emotions, the more you engage your brain in the process of making that goal a reality. One of the best ways to get started is to choose a specific goal you want to achieve and visualize the steps you'll take to get there. Whether it's running a marathon, getting a promotion, or launching a business, mentally rehearse the entire process. Imagine yourself successfully completing each step and how it will feel to cross the finish line. What's truly fascinating is that your brain doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. Studies have shown that when you visualize an event, the same neural pathways are activated as if you were actually performing the task. For example, when you mentally rehearse playing a sport, the same parts of your brain light up as if you were physically practicing. This is why visualization can be so effective. When you imagine yourself succeeding, your brain starts to create the neural infrastructure to support that outcome. Essentially, you're wiring your brain for success long before the real event takes place. So, the next time you're about to face a big presentation, an important meeting, or a performance, take a few minutes to visualize yourself executing flawlessly. Mentally run through the steps of the task, visualizing yourself being confident, calm, and successful. Your brain will treat this as actual practice, which will increase your confidence and performance when the moment arrives. To begin using visualization, take a few minutes each day to engage in a visualization session. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and begin by imagining your goal as if it's happening right now. Get as specific as possible. What do you see, hear, feel, and experience? What does the room look like? What sounds are present? What are the emotions you're feeling in this moment of success? How do you carry yourself? The more detailed and vivid your mental movie, the stronger the connection to your goal. The key here is to use all your senses: sight, sound, touch, smell, and even taste. Your subconscious mind responds best to these rich sensory details. And the more your mind engages with these aspects, the more real the outcome will seem. Just like any other skill, visualization gets stronger with practice. It's not enough to just visualize success once or twice and expect immediate results. To rewire your brain for success, you need to make visualization a consistent part of your daily routine. Start by dedicating just 5 to 10 minutes a day to visualization. You can do this in the morning, before a big event, or at night before you go to bed. The more you practice, the more natural and automatic the process will become. Here's how to break down your visualization practice. 1. Set your intention. Clearly define the goal or outcome you want to visualize. 2. Relax and focus. Get into a calm, focused state of mind. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. 3. Engage all your senses. Imagine your goal with as much detail as possible, how you see it, feel it, hear it, and experience it. 4. Feel the emotions. Tap into the emotions of achieving your goal, how proud, happy, or fulfilled you feel. 5. Reinforce your belief. Conclude your session by reaffirming your belief that this outcome is possible and that you are capable of achieving it. Over time, you'll find that your visualization practice becomes a natural extension of your mindset, helping you stay focused, motivated, and aligned with your goals. Mental rehearsal is a key component of visualization. Mental rehearsal is not just about imagining the end goal, but practicing the process of achieving it. It's like running through a dress rehearsal before the big show, giving you the opportunity to mentally prepare for every step. For instance, if your goal is to land a new job, mental rehearsal involves visualizing the steps leading up to that goal, submitting your resume, preparing for interviews, walking into the office, shaking hands, and answering questions confidently. You might even mentally rehearse potential challenges, how you will handle nerves or unexpected questions. The more you mentally rehearse the process, the more prepared and confident you'll feel when it's time to take action. Mental rehearsal doesn't just boost confidence, it also helps your brain create the neurological pathways that lead to success. The more you rehearse mentally, the more your brain will view the experience as real, increasing your chances of success when it happens. Visualization isn't only about imagining the good things that will happen. It's also about mentally rehearsing how you will overcome obstacles and setbacks. Life is unpredictable, and things don't always go as planned. But by visualizing how you will deal with challenges, you prepare yourself to stay calm and focused, no matter what happens. Imagine yourself facing obstacles and using your strengths to overcome them. Maybe you're in a meeting where things aren't going as expected, but you handle the situation with grace and poise. Maybe you encounter a difficult challenge, but you find a creative solution and push forward. By visualizing yourself overcoming difficulties, you strengthen your resilience and mental toughness. This practice not only prepares you for challenges, it also boosts your belief in your ability to navigate them successfully. Visualizing success in the face of adversity builds confidence and mental fortitude, ensuring that you remain calm and solution-focused, no matter what life throws your way. Beyond achieving specific goals, visualization also serves as an incredible tool for sharpening your focus and clarity. When you regularly visualize your goals and dreams, it helps you stay focused on what truly matters and filters out distractions. Visualization acts as a mental compass, guiding you back to your purpose and your why. If you find yourself getting distracted or overwhelmed by the noise around you, take a moment to visualize your bigger vision, reconnect with your goals, imagine yourself already living them, and bring that clarity back into your daily actions. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on experience, plays a crucial role in the effectiveness of visualization. When you consistently visualize a goal, you're not just creating a mental image, you're actively rewiring your brain to align with that vision. Your brain treats visualized experiences as real, strengthening neural connections that support the actions and behaviors required to achieve your goals. With consistent visualization, you essentially program your brain to automatically think and act in ways that lead to success. Visualization is a powerful tool that enhances your focus, builds confidence, and programs your brain for success. Whether you're mentally rehearsing a performance, visualizing your goals, or preparing for challenges, the act of visualizing engages your brain in a way that turns your dreams into reality. Now that you understand the power of visualization, it's time to integrate this tool into your daily routine. By visualizing your goals and mentally rehearsing the path to achieving them, you'll create a mindset that's aligned with success, helping you stay focused and motivated no matter what obstacles you encounter. In the next section, we'll explore how to build mental resilience and emotional stability, ensuring that you can stay strong and steady on your journey. But for now, take a moment to practice visualization and see the positive impact it can have on your life. Welcome to the final stretch of this journey. We've talked about controlling your thoughts, creating empowering mental habits, sharpening your focus, and visualizing success. Now, let's dive into the final pillar of mental mastery, building mental resilience and emotional stability. In life, challenges are inevitable. Setbacks, failures, and disappointments are all part of the human experience. but how you respond to these challenges, how you bounce back, and how you maintain your emotional equilibrium will determine the trajectory of your life. Mental resilience is the key to navigating adversity with strength, grace, and unwavering determination. At its core, mental resilience is the ability to adapt to adversity and bounce back from difficult situations. Resilience doesn't mean that you don't feel pain or frustration, but it means that you have the ability to recover from setbacks, adjust to challenges, and keep moving forward with purpose. Resilient people view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles that stand in their way. They maintain a positive mindset, even in the face of hardship, and take proactive steps to manage their emotions and actions. Resilience is built through mindset, habits, and responses to adversity. It's not about avoiding difficult situations. It's about developing the strength to face them head-on. And the best part? Resilience is a skill that you can develop over time with intention and practice. One of the most powerful ways to build resilience is by cultivating a growth mindset. People with a growth mindset believe that their abilities, intelligence, and talents can be developed through hard work, dedication, and learning from experiences. They view failure as a stepping stone to success, not a reflection of their worth. In contrast, people with a fixed mindset tend to believe that their abilities are static and unchangeable. When they face setbacks, they may give up or avoid challenges altogether because they see them as personal failures. If you want to build mental resilience, you need to shift your mindset from fixed to growth. When you face a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, see them as opportunities to improve, grow, and become stronger. The key to resilience is not to avoid challenges, but to embrace them with a positive and proactive mindset. Whether you're learning from a mistake, improving your skills, or pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, a growth mindset will empower you to keep going, no matter what obstacles you face. Emotional resilience is the ability to manage your emotions, especially during stressful or difficult situations. Emotional regulation doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, but rather understanding and managing them in a way that helps you stay grounded and make rational decisions. When we face adversity, it's easy to get swept away by emotions like anger, fear, frustration, or sadness. But when we allow our emotions to control us, we lose our ability to think clearly and respond effectively. Emotional resilience is about staying in control of your emotional responses, even in high-pressure situations. One of the most powerful techniques for emotional regulation is mindfulness. By practicing mindfulness, you train yourself to observe your emotions without being overwhelmed by them. When you feel your emotions rising, take a step back, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to feel the emotion without judgment. Then, choose a course of action that aligns with your values and goals rather than reacting impulsively. For example, if you're faced with criticism or a setback, rather than allowing anger or frustration to take over, take a deep breath and remind yourself of your growth mindset. Ask, what can I learn from this situation? How can I respond in a way that moves me forward? Emotional resilience also involves practicing self-compassion. Be kind to yourself during difficult times and recognize that everyone faces setbacks. Self-compassion helps you acknowledge your feelings without letting them define you. It allows you to move through challenges without self-blame, giving you the emotional strength to keep going. Mental toughness is the ability to stay strong in the face of adversity. It's about remaining committed to your goals, even when things get tough, and not giving up when the road gets rough. It's not about avoiding stress or challenges. It's about handling them with confidence and perseverance. One way to build mental toughness is to embrace discomfort. Too often, we avoid difficult situations because they feel uncomfortable. But discomfort is where growth happens. When you challenge yourself and step outside your comfort zone, you become stronger, more adaptable, and more capable of handling future challenges. Start small. Set a goal that pushes you beyond your current limits. Whether it's a physical challenge, a professional goal, or a personal growth objective, when you encounter discomfort or fear, don't retreat. Instead, embrace the discomfort, knowing that it's a sign of progress. Another powerful tool for building mental toughness is visualization. As we discussed in the previous section, visualization helps you mentally rehearse success, but it also allows you to rehearse overcoming challenges. When you visualize yourself navigating obstacles with resilience, you train your brain to stay focused and strong, no matter what comes your way. One of the most important aspects of resilience is having a support system. No one achieves success alone, and when times get tough, having a network of supportive friends, family, mentors, or colleagues can make all the difference. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, encourage you, and remind you of your strength when you're feeling down. Mentors are particularly valuable because they've been where you are and can offer guidance, wisdom, and support during difficult times. Whether it's a coach, a colleague, or someone who has walked a similar path, a mentor can help you stay focused, motivated, and on track. Even if you don't have a mentor yet, seek out communities of like-minded individuals who are committed to growth and success. Join groups, attend events, or participate in online communities where you can connect with others who support your vision. Failure is an inevitable part of success. The most resilient people are those who learn from failure rather than letting it stop them. When you fail, take a moment to reflect on the experience. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? Failure is a valuable teacher. It helps you build resilience, problem-solving skills, and a deeper understanding of yourself. Each failure is an opportunity to grow stronger, and the more you embrace this mindset, the less fear and anxiety you will feel when faced with setbacks. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your abilities, see it as a stepping stone toward success. Every setback brings you closer to your goal, as long as you're willing to learn from it and keep moving forward. Building mental resilience is not an overnight process. It's a journey. It requires patience, commitment, and consistency. There will be days when you feel invincible and others when you feel defeated. The key is to keep going, to keep showing up, and to keep believing in your ability to bounce back. Embrace the process of growth and development. Each challenge you face is a chance to build your resilience and become a stronger version of yourself. Over time, you'll find that setbacks have less power over you, and you'll be able to face life's difficulties with confidence, strength, and a positive mindset. Building mental resilience is the foundation for maintaining stability, clarity, and focus throughout your journey. By embracing a growth mindset, regulating your emotions, building mental toughness, and learning from failure, you equip yourself with the tools you need to succeed in life. In the next section, we'll dive into curating your mental environment to ensure it supports your continued growth. But for now, take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. You are stronger, more resilient, and more capable of achieving your goals than ever before. As we wrap up this chapter on building mental resilience and emotional stability, take a moment to reflect on your journey. Resilience isn't about being unshaken by life's challenges. It's about how you rise after each setback. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to become stronger, more adaptable, and more aligned with your goals. Remember, growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. When you challenge yourself, even in the face of adversity, you're building mental muscle. Yes, there will be tough times. There always are. But your ability to bounce back and learn from each experience is what truly matters. So, instead of avoiding discomfort, embrace it. This is where the magic happens. You're learning to respond with clarity, purpose, and resilience, which means you'll handle whatever life throws at you with greater strength and wisdom. Every day you practice resilience, you're one step closer to mastering your thoughts and your life. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Keep nurturing that growth mindset. Take care of your emotional well-being and build your mental toughness. And don't forget, the most resilient people don't walk this path alone. Surround yourself with a support system that lifts you up and keeps you moving forward. Whether through mentors, friends, or communities, your resilience will grow stronger with each connection. As we move forward, keep in mind that you are already on the path to success, and each step you take is making that success more inevitable. Stay committed, trust the process, and remember, you have everything you need within you to create the life you've always dreamed of.